Microphone check. Mic check. Mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check, mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check, mic check. Microphone check, microphone check.
Do you need to say 30 seconds and then we'll call to order?
We're live in 30 seconds.
Okay, I'm calling to order the meeting of the CDBG Committee on March 22nd.
Okay. The next item on the agenda will be roll call. We're going to roll call our committee members. Chairperson Robin Aspinall.
Here.
Committee member Andrew Rubio.
Here.
Committee member Rebecca Monk is absent today. Committee member Stephanie Wells.
Here.
Committee member Lisa Nicely.
Present.
Okay, our next item on the agenda is oral communication. I'm going to read a phrase. If anybody has any questions regarding anything on the agenda, this would be the time to let me know. This is the time for any citizen to comment on any item listed or not listed on the agenda. Anyone wishing to address the committee is requested to submit a speaker card to staff at or prior to speaking. The speakers are requested to keep their comments to no more than 3 minutes. The next item on the agenda is our old business. We are going to review and approve the minutes from last week from March 15.
Is there a motion for approval?
Motion to approve the minutes provided dated March 15th of 2022.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is new business, and it's going to be our applicants' presentations. As everybody has an agenda in front of them, we're going to go in order. So our first presenter, each presenter will have 5 minutes to present. First presenter is Foothill Family Shelter. Is anybody here present from, perfect. And on the mic, if you push the button, it'll go green, and then the feed will go live.
I want to introduce ourselves. My name is Bonnie Cole. I'm the Associate Director.
And my name is Megan Neiman, the Executive Director of Foothill Family Shelter.
Thank you for another opportunity to present on behalf of Foothill Family Shelter. We have been providing housing and hope to families experiencing homelessness since 1984, and with your continued support, we're able to carry out our mission and continue serving those less fortunate. This proposal aligns with the City of Upland's consolidated plan in many ways. Public service for low-income families, preventing and eliminating homeless, and like the City of Upland, our goal is to address incidences of homelessness in Upland and to prevent extremely low-income Upland families from becoming homeless. These past 24 months have brought challenges, struggles, and even some opportunities. We're pleased to report that our mission has been carried out in its entirety during very uncertain times. While services are conducted in a different manner, our model has not changed, and clients are still given the same opportunity to transform their lives. We have not lowered our bar or any program expectation. With your support, we're confident that we will continue providing critical services to those experiencing homelessness and food insecurities.
Our shelter is comprised of 28 two-bedroom apartments, 8 of which are the 120-day housing. Qualified and selected families are moved into a fully furnished apartment that they can call home for the next 4 months. Families don't pay rent or utilities, and their commitment is that they participate in professional services such as case management, mental health services, employment and job development, and children's enrichment activities. Families are required to save a minimum of 50% of their income, which is placed into a trust account, and when they exit, those dollars are returned. Oftentimes, they can save more than 50%. Our program helps teach clients how to regain their independence and self-sufficiency. Our goal is to provide our families with as much knowledge as they can so they can live better today, tomorrow, and in the future. Our Learn program gives residents an opportunity to participate in various workshops led by professionals from within the community twice a month. While meeting with clients virtually isn't always conducive, it's an effective temporary approach to ensure families are still acquiring necessary skills to improve their lives. Children's enrichment activities has also been carried on in a very non-traditional manner, but nonetheless, they have been introduced to new activities and experiences. And starting April, we will resume with in-person case management, which we're all very excited about.
We expect to house 22 families in our 120-day program each year, and last year we housed 17 families consisting of 56 individuals. 2 of those families were from Upland, consisting of 2 adults and 5 children for a total of 7 individuals from Upland. Our help desk assisted 744 families who are residents of Upland by providing food, clothing, diapers, and wipes through our community food pantry. Our help desk is often a homeless prevention service for many families in need. When clients have access to basic necessities, they have the ability to take care of their housing responsibilities. Nearly 40% of all residents who access our help desk identify from the city of Upland. In November of 2021, we held our annual Thanksgiving basket distribution and successfully distributed, even with the challenges of COVID, over 1,000 baskets, with 302, which is almost 100 more than previous year. Those baskets went to residents of Upland.
Excuse me, they're stating that they can't hear you, so if you could speak directly into the mic, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Okay. Shall I say that part again? While securing volunteers has been a bit of a challenge, we were impressed with our community and it has remained generous and committed to this effort. What's really surprising is that we gave out 1,000 baskets with many schools and faith-based organizations closed during this time for the pandemic. So this was from citizens of Upland who support us.
Before we close, we would like to thank you for continuing to believe in our mission and investing in our programs. The work we do is critical, and your support truly makes it possible. We hope that this has helped you have a better understanding of what we do and the impact that we have. But before we close, we'd like to share a letter that we recently received from one of our graduates of our 120-day program. Today, I have been crying off and on all day. Good tears. I'm not sure if my case manager shared that I recently graduated with my master's degree. It has been a long time coming. I'm overwhelmed with gratitude that certainly includes you all at Foothill Family Shelter. You have all been a part of my restoration and rehabilitation towards a better life for my children and I. Since I have been a resident here, I have been able to earn both my bachelor's and master's degree. So I truly appreciate you all and the support these past couple of years. I am very optimistic about the future God has for me. I can now really focus and feel confident in applying for better job opportunities that will further my career and help me gain more stability in being able to finally purchase a home. Thank you so much. Thank you for all of you. I look forward to helping others just like you have helped me. The work you all are doing matters. For me, it's made a world of difference. 1,000,000 times, thank you.
It's great. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next applicant, Pacific Lifeline.
Liz, I think, is it, okay. Yeah, if you can hear it that way, because there's people that are watching it live, so it's not us in the room, it's the people online. Okay.
Is the green button on? Yes. Oh, no, it has to be green.
Well, there you go. Sorry.
No.
Do you need me to start all over again?
No, but that's much better. Okay.
Pacific Lifeline serves homeless women and their children who are motivated and able to work towards self-sufficiency. The program makes a difference in the city of Upland and throughout the Inland Empire by reducing the number of families needing welfare and shelter assistance. It makes a difference in the lives of its residents by transforming helpless, hopeless lives into a life with a bright future with hope. This proposal is a request for funding toward case management services that are part of our women's program. The case management sessions include career, budget, and credit counseling, resume and interview coaching, creation of family wellness care plan, and daycare and housing resources. This progressive work focuses on personal needs and issues. Many short-term goals and are addressed, and then educational and vocational activities ultimately lead to the ability to live independently and support their families. The case management provides weekly case management meetings. This is one of the mandatory meetings for women each week. The case management sessions include career budget and credit counseling, resume and interview coaching, and creation of a medical plan for each family. Therefore, the case manager also works with women on goals such as learning to drive, obtaining their driver's license, using a calendar to track appointments. Does that mean it's over? Oh, it was okay. Planning nutritious meals and creating a wellness plan. As the women experience more stability and increased self-confidence, they become more involved in education and vocational activities that lead to economic independence. Their personal work continues throughout the process. Ultimately, the women are able to live independently and support their families. Pacific Lifeline's program is not an overnight program. Am I done? 1 minute, okay. It is effectively addressing Upland's consolidated plan's priority needs of homeless prevention services, public services for low-income families, and economic opportunity. It equips women to not become homeless or not return to homelessness. We have been honored to partner with the City of Upland in addressing the issue of homelessness within our city since 2013. We are grateful today for the opportunity to be here and to request for further funding for Pacific Lifeline Women's Program. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions?
Do you have one, Lisa?
Yeah, comment, do you have a second? I noticed on your application, and I think it was due to COVID, that you weren't able to help people last year. Is that correct? Is the unduplicated totals?
I was going to ask the same, just to be clear on where that is. It asks for the number served in the program year 21 and
Show it
current
to
year 22.
Okay.
And it has 0 in both of those years?
We had the same people the whole year, yes. We just couldn't take any new people because we were shut down.
So you were
lot of
still
the
serving people, just not?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We never shut down. We just couldn't bring in new people because we had isolated environments due to COVID, inside the house and inside our employment.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I got
Was that clear?
Yeah, I
Probably we probably should have made an asterisk on that.
kind of figured as much.
Yeah.
And last we spoke, which I think was before COVID, you were looking to expand your facility?
Say that again. I apologize.
I think before COVID, you had plans to expand the facility?
To sustain,
Expand it?
yes,
Any
we still
updates?
are. Yes, we
Has
did.
COVID slowed that process down?
No, we have plans with the city of Upland to get permission with regards to all of that. We're looking at building 4 new little houses.
Yep.
And so we have got, we get private funding. We don't get public funding. The city of Upland is one of our small funding in that way. So we are still with, this will be our 6th house that will be permanent, that we graduate. If we get permission from the city of Upland to build the 2 duplexes, that will make 6 houses on our property that we can have permanent housing. Yes.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Carmen.
You.
Next presenter, St. Joseph's program, His Hands Food Pantry Food Program.
Good afternoon. My name is Carolyn Height, and I am here to represent His Hands Food Pantry Ministry. Our ministry has been serving the community since 1984. His Hands distributes food, blankets, and specific hygiene items to individuals who are of extremely low to moderate income. We also provide services to our homeless community in Upland as well as surrounding areas. We service working families, the elderly, and single-family households. The ministry staff is composed of 30 volunteers and 1 employee. We provide a set menu of nutritious, non-perishable food items, family-size specific, every 2 weeks. We also provide a specific food menu for the homeless community who do not have the availability of cooking facilities or appliances. Each individual is eligible to receive a 3 to 4 day supply of food every 2 weeks. We pride ourselves not to turn anyone away. Blankets, underwears, t-shirts, and socks, when available, are provided to our homeless community as well as our working poor upon request. Hygiene packs are provided to our homeless on a monthly basis. We also provide additional items when available to our community, such as jackets, sweaters, scarves, and gloves. We are located in the rear of our parish office and service the public out of our facility that is actually a 3-car garage. We also use facilities we have 2 additional tough sheds to store additional food items if needed. Our parish provides us with a facility and paid utilities. We're also able to use our parish bookkeeper to maintain our ministry finances and expenditures. We rely on donations, both food and monetary, to run our ministry. We purchase the additional food items and hygiene items as needed. We have an 8-member governing board that meets bi-monthly along with volunteers to make decisions for the ministry based on our community needs. We added additional items to our distribution, such as cooking oil, sugar, flour, and other items that are truly needed for our families. We know that everyone's pantry is not the same, so we always try to look to find additional items such as low sodium, low fat, as well as ethnic food items, because peanut butter is not necessarily everyone's staple, as well as other items that we consider a staple. Unfortunately, due to the high cost of food now and some essential items, we had to increase our per person item increased from $22.99 per person to $33.33 per person. That's up 45%. If you look at the basis, everybody says the cost of living has gone up 5 to 10%. Unfortunately, when you're looking at staple, non-perishable food items, they're not always available to us in a high level. So we always purchase a large amount of items that local supermarkets or other places are not able to give us because they still have to provide to their customers. We use any monies that are distributed to us for food purchases, hygiene items, and other things that we do for our community. We try to go out of our way to do additional things for the community at large. For Easter last year, we provided 60 food baskets to families that included a ham and some perishable items such as cheese, butter, and additional things that they needed to make their meal, along with over 200 Easter baskets to the children, something that this funding does not go to. We make sure that we are always out there trying to find additional funding. For Christmas, we give out 110 traditional family baskets, again, with ham and all the fixings that the family could prepare at home so that way the children will have memories to cherish. We were able to provide 40 bikes and toys to 315 children. Each child got a total of 6 toys plus board games and books. We truly believe that it's a family unit. They need to be able to be together and create memories, not necessarily just be able to get something from someone that has been used, especially during the Christmas time. For Thanksgiving, we partnered with Morongo Band of Indians, and they actually only donated 60 turkeys. Even with that, our volunteers go out there to volunteer during that time to help others in order for us to receive what we do, in order to give this to our families. Our families received those 60 turkeys, plus we purchased additional items for them to be able to hand those to their families. On Thanksgiving Day, we actually, myself and my staff, actually cook a Thanksgiving meal that we provide to the families from 11 to 1 p.m. The previous year, due to COVID, we served majority seniors. This year, we were able to serve over 250 individuals that sat there and had a meal as well as to go. My volunteers sit there with those families and those individuals to provide not only a meal, but also provide a touching hand and be able to speak to them on a one-on-one basis. This year, we're planning to do a lot more, and every year we do something different to improve that. This year, we're having an Easter egg hunt for the children and families, along with providing the families an Easter basket as well. All the monies, if approved, are basically for food and all the essentials that we purchase for the pantry. It does not go to anything else. Our facilities are maintained by us, as well as most of us are being volunteer. Myself is paid out of our staff because I also do other things other than run the pantry. It is a pleasure to be invited to attend here today because we've been truly blessed. Last year, for 2020-2021, Uplanders made us their charity of choice, which they were able to collect over $45,000 for my ministry. $32,000 came to us in May. The rest of it was done prior to that. We saved some of that money to the side in order for us to be able to continue servicing the community as well as the other cities surrounding us. Because unfortunately, Ontario is just a stone throw away from Upland, as well as other people that work within the city of Upland that do not live in Upland that uses our pantry for their services. So we want to make sure that we are able to do that. Rotary Club provided us a mini grant of $2,000 last year in December. This year for Valentine's Day, they were able to collect over $10,000 worth of food that went directly to us. So I brought some packets that I would like to give you guys. It's just photos of what we've done and what we continue doing. Some of them are in your packets, some of them are things that we do. And if you have any questions, that's all I have.
Any questions? Thank you for everything you do.
Okay. Our next applicant is Inland Valley Hope Partners.
Hello, I'm Autumn Washington, and this is Kay Brand, and we're representing Inland Valley Hope Partners. Our CEO couldn't make it today, had an emergency, so we are here to represent. Who we are, Inland Valley Hope Partners is a faith-based charitable organization created by partnerships with faith communities, businesses, individuals, and community groups. The organization began in 1968 with 18 local churches as the Pomona Valley Council of Churches. The group's desire was to pool their resources to better serve the needs of the community. Our mission is to ensure the empowerment of people in need by providing food, shelter, and supportive services. Our programs essentially break down into 3 areas: food security, including 5 food pantries, 2 once-per-month food distributions, housing, including the Our House Family Shelter, rapid rehousing program, and homeless prevention rental assistance, as well as our healthy living program, which consists of our farmers market, our volunteer work at Amy's Farm, and our Gleaning for Hope program, which we get a lot of residents in Upland. Through our comprehensive services, we provide assistance to more than 75,000 very low, and low-income residents in the west end of San Bernardino and the east end of Los Angeles counties. Our request, Inland Valley Hope Partners is requesting $10,000 to fund our food security program operated at our SOVA Program Center in Ontario, and our once per month food distribution in the city of Upland. These programs provide families and individuals in need with 4 to 5 days supply of basic staple foods every 30 days, plus fresh fruits, vegetables, and meat provided as available. But during COVID, we have allowed households to come every 2 weeks as needed. Most produce is provided to our clients through our partnership with Amy's Farm, located off of Edison. Homeless clients are always welcome to come every 2 weeks for food assistance. As available, we also provide diapers, paper goods, hygiene products, bus passes, motel vouchers, and rental/utility assistance to clients who need it. Clients at our SOVA site are provided brief case management services to identify client needs and also provide information and referrals to other service providers. Our once per month food distribution in Upland takes place at the campus of Pacific Lifeline on the third Wednesday of every month. This distribution services 96 households each month, averaging between 240 and 300 individuals. Our SOVA facility normally serves an unduplicated number of approximately 20,000 individuals annually. Each year, more than 400 of those unduplicated clients are from the city of Upland. Many of these are low to no income. Clients visit our pantry multiple times per year. Most of our clients are considered the working class, that they have minimum wage jobs but do not have enough to provide for all of their family's expenses. Our food assistance helps prevent homelessness at our healthy food assistance frees up money for clients to spend on rent, transportation to work, utilities, or even helps fund courses to help them get a higher paying job. Our program also helps families avoid negative health consequences associated with periods of hunger and inadequate nutrition. Finally, half of these we serve our children. It brings us great joy to know that our food assistance ensures these children and their families have enough to eat and won't have to feel hunger. Families in Upland who are at risk of homelessness may also access our emergency rental and mortgage assistance at our SOVA location in Ontario. Last fiscal year, more than 124 families avoided homelessness due to this assistance. And 4 of these families call Upland home. Finally, I'd like to thank the City of Upland and the Community Development Block Grant community for the opportunity to share our program with you this afternoon. I'd also like to thank you for past support. We look forward to the possibility of partnering with you all and to provide this valuable public service to the citizens of Upland and the surrounding areas. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? No? Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, our next applicant is from Catholic Charities.
First of all, let me say it feels good to be here with no mask, talking to people in person. It's nice. Okay, I'm Leaf. I'm from Catholic Charities. I'm the program manager for Catholic Charities, but I'm also the director of the Upland Community Resource Center, which is what I'm here to talk about and we're requesting funding for. The Upland Community Resource Center is right down the street here. And although at Catholic Charities, we've been providing what we call family and emergency services for more than 40 years, we've only been here in Upland with a physical site for about 2 years now. And it's right down the street. So I'm going to invite you all to come down and visit if you get a chance to actually see our center. We're requesting funds for direct services, and those services will include food services, what we call bridge and temporary housing, a rental assistance or homeless prevention, and utility assistance services. What we do is we provide a variety of services because we have all different type of people contact us for different type of services, especially within the last couple of years. We've seen a lot of diversity when it comes to people finding themselves struggling for the first time and in situations where they never thought they would have to ask for help. So we offer all type of services. We like to consider ourselves a one-stop shop, which means we have a lot of strong partners. And I want to thank some of our partners because we can't do what we do without good, strong partners. First of all, we partner with Life Bible Fellowship Church here in Upland, which is who we opened the center up with. They help us out with a lot of volunteers and manpower. The services, we're able to offer services without charging a penny, and the reason why is because we really tap into volunteer services. So we're really thankful for volunteers who come in and help. We also partner with the city of Upland, of course. We work with them whenever there's a need, like there's a couple of fires that actually hit the city, and we work with them to get folks some help, temporary housing, and other things they needed. The Upland Police Department has also been a great partner too. As you guys know, we do have a homeless issue here in Upland, and working with the police department, we're able to address some of those issues and hopefully get people to a better place. We recently started a partnership with the Upland School District. They actually came down and did a visit, and not surprisingly, it's a lot of families who have children in school who are struggling too. This whole COVID and shutdown, and now the recovery has really had a huge impact on our families. So we're partnering with them, and of course, a couple of agencies here we also partner with too, like Inland Valley Hope Partners, Pacific Lifeline, and stuff. Because again, people come see us, and although we can't provide every single service out there, we like to connect people. So we spend a lot of time partnering with different agencies who are doing great work here in Upland. We also work with a lot of good thrift store. We get a lot of people who contact us who want to give, clothing items and stuff like that. And unfortunately, we just don't have a space down there. So we partner with local partners who can take it in. And then we put together a vouchering program and we send our clients there for needs and stuff. And lastly, we also have partners with the actual state. You guys know when COVID first hit, a lot of people fell way behind in rental assistance. we had people coming to us with these huge amounts that they weren't able to pay, rents for months and months and months, and that these amounts really built up. Well, we're fortunate enough to apply for different grants and stuff, and we do tap in all the other type of sources, but what we found out, even some of those sources weren't enough. I know the federal government and the state had an awesome program, so we started referring people to that, and that really helped a lot of people also. And now, the housing crisis. I won't get started on housing because I can talk about housing forever. The cost of housing is really killing our families and stuff, on top of the cost of gas. Man, time flies when you're up here. So, thank you guys for letting me be here. And I look forward to maintaining these partnerships. And if you have any questions, let me know. Sorry I talk so much, too. So.
No, thank you, Leif. Any questions? Thank you. Okay, our next presenter is Easter Seals, Southern California.
Good afternoon. My name is Jenny Myra. I'm the Vice President of Behavioral Services with Easter Seals, Southern California. At Easter Seals, we're changing the way the world defines and views disability by making profound positive differences in people's lives every day. At Easter Seals, Southern California, we provide many services throughout the lifespan of an individual. It includes autism therapy services, which includes applied behavior analysis, otherwise known as ABA, speech therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy, social skills and diagnostic services. We also provide child development services through Early Head Start and Head Start, adult day services, residential services, supported and independent living services, senior services, coordinated life services, and employment services. So for today, I'm going to be talking about autism therapy services specifically. Autism therapy services, we offer services throughout Southern California, from San Diego, including Imperial County, to Kern County and San Bernardino County, and everything in between. We provide behavior, speech, physical, and occupational therapies tailored to increase the skills of people with autism and other disabilities. This grant we are applying for will help fund a project to address the need for public health services targeted at low-income to moderate-income residents through a diagnostic clinic. Upland survey respondents identified special needs services as a high priority need, as well as services for disabled individuals. Autism spectrum disorder continues to climb in numbers in our communities. This project would assist in addressing disparities in autism diagnoses and services. Specifically, this project will target low to moderate income families who require an autism evaluation for their child. Services will be charged to the family's insurance if they are eligible, which we will help them navigate. For families who are uninsured or underinsured, we would provide services pro bono. The project aims to provide pro bono diagnostic services to at least 10 families residing in Upland. Children ages 2 to 5 years will be prioritized, although all families with a need can access the service. A larger goal will be to share information with the community about the importance of early diagnoses and services. The cost of evaluation is at least $3,000 per assessment. We use a battery of tests and may also coordinate care with other specialists, including speech, occupational therapy, pediatricians, school personnel. The diagnostic appointments it's usually an intake session, 1 to 2 sessions, and a feedback session, also with follow-up finding the appropriate services based on recommendation from the assessment. That's pretty much the gist of it. I'm different, I'm shorter than everybody else, but thank you for the opportunity to present and apply for these funds, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
I have a couple. Just
Sure.
You're new to us, so we
Yes.
don't know you yet. This is your first application through this program?
With Upland, yes. We have a grant through Rialto currently.
Okay. And so I notice your request of 30,000, the bulk of that is for personnel costs. Can you elaborate a little more on what personnel that is for?
Licensed psychologists, so these batteries of tests are conducted by licensed psychologists.
Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you.
Yeah. Our next presenter is from Inland Fair Housing and Mediation Board.
Hello, everybody. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Eli Lopez. I'm the Chief Operations Officer and Chief Information Officer at the Inland Fair Housing and Mediation Board. IFH&B provides fair housing and landlord-tenant services to residents of Upland. Some of the services we provide include fair housing information and landlord-tenant mediation. We also have a department at IFH&B that provides assistance with filing fair housing complaints directly with HUD. We appreciate your continued support for these much-needed services. And kind of brief, but if you have any questions.
Any questions?
Lisa?
No, I just wanted to say that I think this is the first time we've met, but as a group, we've gone out to your facility and seen some of the services you provide, so I think we're all pretty confident with them. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, our next presenter is from the Public Works Department for the Landesina Building Interior Project.
Good afternoon. I'm Richard Smitterly, the Public Works Operations Manager, and I'm here to talk about the Landesina Building Improvement Project. I believe you might have gotten some photos of Phase 1. So let me first talk about the building itself. This building is located at Memorial Park, right outside the Memorial Park area. And this is a city building that we host community events, meetings, recreation classes, recently COVID testing. It's a rental venue. It's an after-school program, a place for after-school programs, hopefully returning in the near future. Senior center projects, summer camps, party reservations, things of this nature. So during Phase 1, which we were granted CDBG funds for, we completed the HVAC system replacement. So we went ahead and replaced all the HVAC systems in the building and also remodeled the kitchen. And that has been completed. Everything went as planned. So those two items are functioning well. Phase 2, which is for this application, is basically fairly straightforward. It's all new paint of the interior and all new flooring of the interior of the entire building. That's fairly the majority of that Phase 2. It's not more involved in that, those two basic items. And that's basically it as far as that goes. Do I have any questions?
I have a quick question. In the narrative, I'm just curious, it talks about the after-school care program situated at Magnolia Colonies Apartments and Upland Housing Authority. But is it also Landesina, or is that, I'm just trying to understand the connections there.
I believe that they have had them at Landesina. That is a recreation department program. So I'm not 100% positive on that, but I know they've had after-school programs at those other sites that you mentioned, and I believe here as well. Obviously, that's been not happening since COVID, but I believe that would be returning to the building.
Thanks. I just know in the other programs, I think funds have been requested specifically for those locations in the past, so this is just a little different. It's just to clarify. Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Yes, please. Richard, in the amount requested, you have 141,000 for the capital improvement costs. Could you just give a little explanation of what the $20,000 for the non-personnel costs might include?
Most of that is for the CDBG compliance oversight component, for the majority of that, and then a little extra there for just administrative costs for city staff. But the majority of that would be the labor compliance. Any other questions?
When do you anticipate the work being done?
I believe I looked at the calendar. I think we were planning on going out to bid around after the first of the fiscal year this year. Yeah, I believe that was what it was. I think I have a time frame here. I think it's on the last page. Whatever we had. Yeah, prepare bid documents in July. So probably get it going right after the fiscal year starts in July. And we should be able to easily complete it within next fiscal year.
Great, thank you. No other questions?
Thank you, Richard.
Thanks, Richard.
Our next presenter is it's going to be the Downtown Improvement Public Parking Program.
Good afternoon, CDBG committee members. I am Giovanni Ariano. I am the Rehabilitation Programs Administrator for the City of Upland. And today I will be presenting the city's proposed Downtown Improvement Public Parking Program. Over the last several years, at the direction of City Council, staff has developed targeted multi-pronged programs that improve the overall economic development of downtown Upland. These programs include the Business Attraction and Assistance Loan Program, the Commercial Rehabilitation Grant Program, and are used to entice new restaurants and retailers to locate in downtown Upland. In addition to assisting new businesses to locate in downtown Upland, the CRP is also providing much-needed facelifts for the downtown businesses with the aim of diminishing the appearance of blight. The City Council has also approved the Downtown Upland Beautification Program and is targeting those improvements to public realm infrastructure such as trash cans, benches, street signs, wayfinding signs, as well as CDBG-funded downtown parklets, and the approximately $1.5 million urban plaza at the Pacific Electric Trail on 2nd Avenue, both of which will add much-needed congregational open space in downtown. Lastly, staff is working with several housing developers seeking to build approximately 280 additional multifamily apartments and townhomes units in the downtown over the next few years. This will provide the critical mass necessary to support the city's economic development goals for the area. This critical mass will need ample and viable public parking to support the city's downtown economic development goals. Accordingly, staff seeks to implement the Downtown Improvement Public Parking Program to utilize various funding sources, including CDBG and the American Rescue Plan Act, aka ARPA funds, in the upcoming fiscal years. And this will increase with the intent of increasing and repairing public parking in the downtown. Moreover, the city will be conducting a parking structure study to determine the best location for a parking structure in the downtown and then seeking federal and state funding to build it. In this initial stage of the Downtown Improvement Public Parking Program, we are seeking to transform an abandoned Southern California Edison transformer site located along the East A Street at 4th Avenue, which has become blighted and is contributing to public nuisances from vagrancy and accumulation of trash and debris. This location was selected to be assisted with CDBG funds due to the urgent need at the site, its smaller size, and ultimately its smaller price tag. At this site, we anticipate creating approximately 8 additional public parking spaces, a code-compliant, tamper-proof trash enclosure, various on-site improvements, and overhead lighting. When using CDBG funds for public infrastructure improvements to address blight, the city must meet certain federal requirements and cannot exceed 30% of its CDBG allocation towards a project. Thus, we are asking the committee to appropriate $162,000, approximately 30% of the anticipated fiscal 2022-23 CDBG allocation. Public Works estimates that the total construction cost at the site will be $223,000, with the shortfall being covered by the ARPA funding. This ends my presentation on this project, and I will gladly answer any questions the committee members may have.
Sorry, what did you say that shortfall would be covered from?
Through the ARPA funding.
Art?
ARPA, the American Recovery Plan Act.
This may be a question for you, but we're limited to 162,000 on this project, or is that just, what is the reason for that?
It's 30%, because for the eligibility review, it's slum and blight, so that we're restricted to the 30%.
30% of
The overall
total grant?
The grant, we do have to minus the admin, the 20% of the admin, and then it would be 30% from that balance.
And that's what the 162,000 represents.
That is correct.
Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the next program will be the emergency repair program.
This presentation, I'll cover a brief overview of Upland's longstanding emergency repair ERP program, as it is also known, its eligibility requirements, and the community need. So as you're aware, the city administers the CDBG-funded emergency repairs program to assist low to moderate income Upland homeowners make needed housing rehabilitation repairs to their home.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Can you get closer to the mic?
Yeah, actually, here we go. So, the program allows for initial grant of up to $10,000 for property improvements that addresses health and safety concerns, code violations, ADA improvements, or other deferred property maintenance items. In those cases where housing repairs exceed the maximum initial ERP grant of $10,000, the program allows for a voluntary dollar-for-dollar matching grant option whereby every dollar provided by the applicant is matched by the program up to $2,000 for a total maximum project budget of $14,000, whereby $12,000 comes from the program and $2,000 comes from the applicant. To be eligible to participate in the ERP, applicants must meet three of the following eligibility requirements. They must be the current owner, occupants of the property to be assisted. Their property must be located within the incorporated city limits of Upland, and their annual gross household income cannot exceed 80% of the area median income for Riverside, San Bernardino metropolitan area as determined by HUD. For example, a household of four cannot make more than $63,200 in gross annual income to be eligible for the program, and that income scale goes up and down depending on the adjustment for family size. Eligible structures that may be included for rehabilitation purposes under the ERP program include single-family homes, townhomes, condominiums, and manufactured mobile housing. Eligible property repairs are determined by the city and include any property improvement that meets or corrects substandard housing, health and safety, code violation, damaged, deteriorated, or deferred maintenance items, and/or other housing components having less than 5 years of useful product life remaining. Please note that this program is not a remodel program, rather it is a rehabilitation program of existing housing components. Typical housing rehabilitation improvements include, but aren't limited to, roofs, windows, doors, heating and air, plumbing, electrical, and other housing components deemed necessary by the city to meet the ERP objectives. Relative to the community need, the ERP was initiated in the early 2000s, and over those years it has helped hundreds of lower income Upland homeowners stay in their homes by promoting affordable housing options in Upland for seniors, fixed income, and workforce population. On an annual basis, the program typically assists 15 to 20 Upland homeowners. The ERP is very much needed in light of the current inflationary prices, the recent windstorm, and the loss of income resulting from the pandemic. Due to the city's shift in needs for CDBG projects coupled with small surplus of previous ERP funding, this year's funding request seeks a minimum of $60,000 of CDBG funding to continue the program. However, if the committee would like to appropriate any additional CDBG funds, they're always welcome and will be used to assist our residents. And currently, we're assisting 20 applicants and have a waiting list of prospective applicants of about 35 individuals. That ends my presentation.
I have a couple questions. So you were allotted money for the current year, and I know you're maybe, are you slower to spend that, or is it picking up now that COVID?
Well, it's picking up now. The only issue now has been kind of just finding the availability of contractors. Everybody's super busy, and then the pricing, the inflationary prices of everything's gone up.
So if you were awarded more than the $60,000 this year, do you think that would be spent?
Yeah, we anticipate spending it. We've provided more staff resources now to this program so we can kind of pick up with a backlog. During COVID, we kind of shifted our focus to other COVID-type programs or projects, and so now we're shifting back to the ERP program and trying to assist more people with their housing needs.
Great. Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. That concludes our presentation. We're going to move on to the next section, which is the budget recommendation. I'm going to put on a So up on the screen, you're going to see, we're going to go over the public service section, and we have our programs, our applicants have applied. We're going to base our funding on our current year, which for public service is the 101,287 with 20 cents. Do we want to start with the first one is Foothill Family Shelter.
Can I make
Sure.
a suggestion? Can we come back to this area? And let's go down to some of the, where we have fixed percentages as well, maybe administrative first.
Sure. Administrative is our second section. So there are two applicants. It's the Inland Fair Housing with the Fair Housing Resolution and the landlord-tenant mediation, and then the remainder always goes to admin cost. Last year, they were awarded for fair housing, $26,000, and for landlord-tenant, $19,500. This year, Inland Fair Housing has applied for $28,000 and then $21,000 for landlord-tenant.
So based on your amounts, your caps here, and your assumption that we're getting the same amount of award that we have for fiscal '22?
That is correct.
Your maximum there is the 135,049, correct?
That is correct. That is our maximum for 20% for our current year.
And these all, the Inland Fair Housing and Mediation Board falls under the administrative area, where you put it?
That is correct, yes. So the third line is our recommendations, so however the committee decides on what amounts they would like.
Okay, and I think I asked last week if we fully funded those two line items, the 86,000 for administrative costs is the plug number to equal the total grant, or the total 20% amount, correct?
Correct.
And the city uses those administrative costs to cover salaries? That is for this, running this program?
It covers salaries, the advertisement that's required by this program, office supplies, and such.
And does that budget exceed the 86,000?
Yes, it does.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion on if we start here and our max allowed is 135,000?
No, I think it's a good place to start, and I would like to propose that we go with the same amounts as last year.
Same amounts as last year, or the request?
I prefer the amounts from last year.
So you would want to give a higher amount on the city's administrative costs than what they're requesting?
Correct.
Is there other discussion on that? Can I ask why you would want to reduce the two agencies?
I just think the city needs the administrative costs covered.
Andrew, do you have thoughts on that?
It makes sense.
Lisa's proposal?
Lisa's proposal makes sense.
Stephanie,
That's fine with me.
with Lisa's proposal?
That's fine. I make a motion to award Inland Fair Housing Mediation Board. The amount of $26,000 for the Educational Outreach Enforcement and Administrative Services Program. And I also make a motion to award them for the landlord-tenant mediation, which is conflict resolution and education between landlord and tenants, the amount of $19,500.
With the balance to the city's administrative.
Yes, with the remainder going back to the city for administrative costs.
Okay, can I just add a little bit to that motion maybe? If there are additional funds awarded to the city, would you, does your motion include putting any additional funds into the administrative costs
Yes, agreed.
for the limit of 20%?
You may also want to ask what's going to happen if we get a decrease.
And if we get a decrease, would you reduce the city's portion or the two agencies? It's a good question.
Increase it across the board. I mean,
Whatever amount,
increasing it only from the admin.
do it
cost?
1/3 from
Yes.
each area? Okay, all right. Is that motion clear to everyone? Is there a second?
I second the motion.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? I heard everyone say, okay. Okay, can we go on and do the construction next, please?
Yes.
Okay, so this has a little bit of a math issue for me, so I'm just going to say what I've looked at here. When we can allocate 65% to capital of the total award, which equals the 276, it equals 388,000, is that correct?
Yes. So if we do not want to fund,
Well, let me state this another way. We're capped on the $162,000 for the downtown parklets.
yes, so right now here, for the parking lot. So right now, we're back to the what's appropriate, the 65%, the 438,911.20. So however you guys would like, we have to maximize this. If we decide to fund it, it'd be the 162.
Can you plug that in there so we can see the subtotal? Whoops, I think your numbers got stuck.
Okay, let's try one more time.
162,059.70. Okay, and then if you go up above, it'll make it easier visually.
Sure.
And fund the whole 166,000 on Landesina. And fund the whole 60 on emergency. It's not registering in there. While you're working on that, I think my point is those are going to total about $50,000 less than what the 65%. So let me ask just a couple questions first. Does everybody agree on the parklets at the max amount? Sorry, parking lot. The parking lot at the max amount that we can fund that one?
Yes.
You want to do that one?
Yeah. I make a motion to fund the downtown parking lot improvements, which will be repair and replace deteriorated parking infrastructure, increase public parking spaces, and approve the ADA access in the full amount of $162,059.70.
Is there a second?
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, I heard everyone. I won't ask opposed. Okay, do we also want to talk about Public Works on Landesina? Any discussion on that?
So when I reviewed the quote that they included in the booklet,
Mhm.
and you divided it by like the square footage of the flooring and stuff, it seems that the quote is pretty accurate.
Okay, are you making a motion then to fund the whole?
Well, I guess there is going to be an excess amount in that category, so I still haven't come to a decision whether it belongs in emergency repair or in the Landesinas.
So the request on Landesina, I mean, this is their full request for the work that they need to be done. If we give them any extra, I'm not sure what else they would be doing with it.
They have to stay within the scope of the request, right? Like, it's not like they can say, oh, well, we wanted to do
Yeah,
something else.
yeah, I'm not sure we can do that because they didn't request it. And they did add a little bit to cover some of the administrative costs in this.
So, everyone ready? We'll make a motion? Okay. I make a motion to fund the Landesina interior project, which will be the interior common area flooring, office flooring, and interior paint in the amount of $166,000.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, great. So that brings us to our little dilemma here, and you're not able to put an amount in there.
I mean, if you copy and paste the
Oh, there you go. Yeah, try to do that. Just to the left. Yeah, if you go to the, yeah, F. There you go. Okay. So our amount's about 50,000. So what happens, I mean, we can either add that all to emergency repair, or what happens if we don't?
Unfortunately, what happened is we were actually planning on trying to fund 2 parking lots until we saw the cost of a normal parking lot. And so this is our dilemma. We had extra funding available. And since there was only Landesina, he said, all I need was 166 to complete the project. I actually had our program administrator put in an application at the last minute for the ERP program, because we weren't anticipating funding the ERP program this fiscal year. But he said we can always use the money because we do have 35, applications that are still on the waiting list.
How long do they have to spend that? Can it carry over into the following year?
It can. Capital is the only one that can carry over. So ERP, the CRP, and the BAP programs are the only programs right now that can carry over, and any capital improvement. So this is why the Landesina Phase 1 went on for a couple of years. And so, again, capital is the only one that's allowed to carry over their funding.
So if we add the extra 50,000 here, they may not need another request next year, or a reduced request next year.
Correct.
From this source. Any other questions about this? Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so I make a motion to fund the emergency repair program, which is emergency repairs to structural, mechanical, plumbing, electrical, and health safety code violations in the amount of $110,851.50. And if the allocation comes in higher or lower than what we're discussing today, the adjustment will be made in the emergency repair program.
I think it's 111.
Yep.
No, I think, oh. There you go.
Second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, got 2 areas out of the way. Thank you.
Okay, go to our public service.
Okay, now we go back up, and we have 131,000 requested for the other agencies, and, the 101,000 to allocate unless we get more funds. Okay, so we need to cut about 30,000 out of the requests or reallocate it differently. Is there discussion, recommendations on that? Andrew? Did you have any thoughts on that? How you might allocate funds if you, or is there anything you would reduce, maybe start there?
It's, when you look at the prior year and they're requesting the same amount for this year, it's kind of like, it's, and the fact that,
The Easter seals is new.
yeah, Easter Seals is new, and I would like to give them something out of this. It's I mean, the biggest number I can see personally is Catholic Charities, but again, it's we know it goes to good stuff, and we know that especially now post-COVID, where we're
Right. I forgot to ask, I was going to ask the person that was here, Leaf, I think it was, because they were still showing as having not spent the current year's allocation. So I'm not sure giving them the full 50,000 there right now makes as much sense when you look at the needs from some of the other agencies. I meant to ask him about that and I forgot, sorry. Stephanie, do you have a?
Yeah, I have giving the full amount to Foothill Family Shelter, Inland Valley Hope Partners, Pacific Lifeline, and St. Joseph Church. And then cutting back on the Catholic Charities. I know they're doing great work. I think they have greater opportunities because they service more areas outside of Upland to receive funding from other sources. And it is a significant jump from what they had requested prior years. And then giving something to Easter Seals, but it wasn't the full 30,000. So I did have down, St. Joseph, I did bring down to 15, but I think that they're fine with the 18. So it'd be 15, 10, 8, 18, and then
So
bringing down the Easter Seals to just about like maybe 20, 25. I'm not too sure where they provide those services.
I think it's the San Bernardino County area. I'm.
yeah, they're up
She was-
in Ontario.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But it's all covering this area. Lisa, did you have thoughts as well?
I agree with Stephanie on the first four, and if everyone's agreed on those, we could get those off the books.
Sure, you want to go ahead and make a motion on dropping, can I go back to St. Joseph, leaving it with their requested amount, or she was also suggesting dropping it?
Yeah, I did in my original notes, but I'm fine with
Leaving it.
bringing it back to 18.
They served a lot of people.
Yeah,
I
they did.
agree. I
So
think they,
grassroots.
yeah, I agree.
And when you look at groups like that, I mean, that's a huge impact on their overall budget.
Well, they're a way smaller budget than some of the
Right.
other organizations, so I think this makes a
makes a
big
huge
difference for them.
Yeah.
So I make a motion to fund Foothill Family Shelter, the Stepping Stone Housing Program in the amount of 15,000. Inland Valley Hope Partners, their food security program in the amount of 10,000. Pacific Lifeline, the Women's Shelter Program in the amount of 8,000.
18. Oh, no, sorry.
In the amount of 8,000. St. Joseph's Church Food Pantry in the amount of 18,000.
There a second?
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, great. So we have 50,000 left to allocate between Easter Seals and Catholic Charities. Any proposal on that?
Did we want to go back to the prior year for Catholic Charities, 35?
It's fine with me.
What's left?
And the balance to Easter Seals?
Yeah. I mean, if that makes sense.
It's okay with me.
Stephanie,
Yeah, that's fine.
You're okay with that? And if we have extra, where would you put that?
Yeah, split, yeah.
Between those two or between everyone?
Between those,
I would,
those,
if there's extra.
what happened?
That
Break
one
it?
went out, but we're still,
So they both went out for a second. That one came in.
Okay, there it is.
Nope. So if it's more, we'll split it between the two.
Yeah.
But if it's less, we'll split it between the two.
Okay, that sounds good.
sounds fair.
That's fair.
Okay, I'll make the motion.
Okay, do you want to make that motion?
Yes, I make a motion to fund Catholic Charities, the Upland Community Resource Center, in the amount of $35,000. And Easter Seals of Southern California, their diagnostic centers, in the amount of $15,287.20. If our allocation is larger or greater than what we see today, the larger amount will be split evenly between Catholic Charities and Easter Seals. And if the allocation is less, it will be split evenly between Catholic Charities and Easter Seals as well.
There's a second.
Second the motion?
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay.
Thank you. We went through the 3 sections.
I know your spreadsheet wasn't working out, but you have notes.
I do.
Okay.
You have notes. Thank you.
Could you maybe send that back around to the group when you've got a completed version, maybe?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I definitely will.
Just in case, as a double check for anybody.
Yes.
Thank you.
The next item is other business. We just want to make sure that our action plan and what we've discussed today, we're going to be presenting at the City Council at the May 9th meeting. And we did discuss if we get funding, additional funding, where we'll be allocated for what we're going to be decreasing and what we're going to be increasing.
And when will we know?
To my understanding, we will know till May. We probably won't even know till after our council meeting.
Okay. And everyone's invited to the city council meeting, right?
Yes, it is. There.
Okay.
Any questions, any other questions, or we would like to discuss?
Well, I think this is our last meeting for this year, so I just thank everybody for participating. And with that, we're adjourned.
Thank you.
And you probably need to let, he knows we're adjourned, okay.